No, obviously, you know you're up against the legacy of the first film, and you have to figure out funny bits, and you have to figure out how to land this political commentary in a way that felt incredibly fresh. But I will say, the part that really blew me away, amongst everything else, the relationship, the father-daughter relationship in this film is really beautiful. Did you know from the beginning that that would have to be the backbone of this, or was it something you found in the writing?
Yeah, that was, I mean, we had a challenge, right? We're making another Borat, and the first Borat went down amazingly well. We thought nobody in the world would want to see a movie about a anti-Semitic journalist from Central Asia. That was a documentary. But then we're set with doing this new one and bringing it out before the election, making sure it's, you know, satirical. Obviously, we've got all these other challenges trying to get into Trump's inner circle. But fundamentally, me and the other writers realized it's got to be emotional. You've got to actually care about the relationship between Borat and his daughter. So we looked at a bunch of kind of father-daughter movies like Fiddler on the Roof, not the Kazakh version, which is they just throw a Jew off a building. But, you know, all these kind of Paper Moon, all these sort of arranged marriage movies, because you actually have to want these two characters to be together.
So there's, I mean, as thrilling as any scene in an action movie last year was you dressing up in a full Trump costume and breaking into CPAC. Can you talk about what you had to go through to get into the building?
Yeah, well, so that day was pretty much like this. I wake up at 2 a.m, drive to some motel. There's a full prosthetics team. They spent 5 hours turning me into Donald Trump. And then, yeah, you know, we obviously had to get through various layers of Secret Service, then hid in a bathroom for another 4 hours. And then I was concerned that I essentially got taken by the Secret Service after I did the scene. I had 15 kind of different law enforcement people around me. And I knew that I couldn't let them know who I was, because then word would get out. And if my name got out there infiltrating CPAC, the movie would be done. So, you know, I had one of the cops, you know, there's 15 guys around me. And there's a guy with a big badge and he goes, "Give me your ID." And I said, "I'm not giving over my ID. I don't know if you're law enforcement." He was like, "Look at my badge." And I go, "Well, I don't know if that's a real badge." And then one of the other guys says, "Just give me your ID." And I said, "It's in my shoe. Do you want me to take off my shoe?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right." Then I carry on for a few minutes. And then one of the other Secret Service guys says, "Where's his ID?" And he goes, "Well, it's in his shoe." You know, and he goes, "So what? Get it out of the shoe." Then the Secret Service take me into a separate room, and I'd hired a bail lawyer for them in case they arrested me. And I'm in the room, and they close this door, and I can hear my bail lawyer going, "Let me in. I represent that my client is behind the door." And I said, they started questioning me, and I said, I'd seen all the movies. I go, "I refuse to answer any questions until my lawyer is present." And I go, "And he's just outside that door. I insist he be let in." They go, "We're the Secret Service. It doesn't work like that. You're going to answer the questions." So they basically decided not to arrest me. They said, "Get off the property." Then what they didn't realize was about 2 minutes later, we had 2 other people also. One was a Trump impersonator, and one was a stuntman dressed also in a prosthetic mask as Trump. So they say, "You come back here, you're going to be arrested." 2 minutes later, these 2 guys come into CPAC, and they're immediately arrested. And they, you know, surrounded by Secret Service, and one is saying, "Take that mask off your face." And the guy goes, "This is my face," the Trump impersonator. No idea what's going on. And then the stuntman, they go, "We told you if you come back, you're going to be arrested." After an hour, with a prosthetics makeup artist, they removed the mask and realized it wasn't me. So it was a challenge.
All right. I mean, again, I know you've been through some of these white knuckle moments. Are you a little terrified when you're in the room with Secret Service like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you don't you don't think anything violent is going to happen to you. Although there was one point where we were preparing the Giuliani scene with somebody who had Secret Service protection, and I had to get trained on what to do when the person who's got Secret Service protection, I won't say who it is, shouts, "Help, help." So, I was trained on what you do. Essentially, the first thing that a Secret Service person does is they jump on you in the room. So the advice was lie on the floor because they're going to jump on you. That's, they're big guys and they're trying to obviously, they're to stop whoever it is getting, shot. So they don't know. That's the first protocol. And so we went through the kind of training on what to do. In the end, we didn't go ahead with that person, and we ended up with Giuliani.
I can only say thank you for continuing to take these risks, and congratulations on both films. They were both wonderful, and it was really great talking to you.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you. Thank you for having my least funny character on your show.
We're glad to finally. He should get out more. Borat's subsequent movie film is streaming on Amazon Prime Video, and The Trial of Chicago 7 is streaming on Netflix. We'll be right back.